Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil, and I am Sybil Wilkes. Welcome in one and all, and we say hello to our weekly crowd here. Hey, Chris Paul, how are you?
Hey, Sybil Wilkes, how are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. Coy Malone, how are you?
I'm doing pretty swell. How's everybody doing?
And Huggy Lowdown, how are you?
Let's come and stand and wear black. What's up, Sybil?
Hey.
What's up, Chris? Hey, Coy.
What up?
What's up?
Hey.
What's going on?
Everybody have a good weekend, time. I will tell you, I dog sat this weekend, and it was very interesting.
You're a great friend, Sybil.
I don't know if I am.
No,
I don't know if the dogs would agree.
That's a whole nother level of friendship. Chris Paul has a dog. Coy, you have pets?
No, but my neighbor, where I used to live recently, had a dog that I would dog sit all the time. I would even go walk the dog for her.
Well, that's what kind of comes with the job. What kind of dog was it?
She had it was like a pit and a terrier mix, but he is the sweetest dog ever.
A pit bull terrier?
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Pretty big, too.
Yeah, probably bigger than you are.
Yeah, and he would jump up on me every time. I'm like, whoa, his name is Rocky. Rocky, sit down.
Dog sitting is so crazy to me because I come from a time when people used to just leave their dog in the house for they would go on a vacation and just leave the dog in the basement or something with all this food and all this water. When you come home, you just got to clean up a bunch of poop.
You got to rationalize the food out.
Right.
No,
dogs are different back then. They was trained different. Now these new dogs, bro.
These new dogs are like children.
Right.
Oh, they got pet hotels and
Oh, they do have that daycare and all that kind of stuff. Yep.
Yeah. My friend takes Rocky to the pet daycare every day.
Yeah, because now, and especially after the pandemic, Coy, when people were home with their pets, and now they have anxiety as a result of their owners going back to the office or whatever. And so now they have them, or they will either leave the television on, or they'll have a camera in the house so that you can talk to the dog, or you take them to daycare.
My wife has a friend who just recently asked if my wife could come by and dog sit because their dog can't be alone for more than 2 hours. 2 hours is like the max.
Yeah.
2 hours?
They're children, bro. They are children, bro.
Yeah. I had fun with Lawler and Ramsey. I don't know how much fun they had with me because
what are their names, Sybil?
Lawler and Ramsey.
You were babysitting some lawyers.
Lawler and Ramsey, attorneys at law.
Yeah, they sound like accident lawyers.
And I'm sure they made some accidents.
Well, I had to clean up after that. Yeah. But Lawler is like, he's a real outdoor dog. He likes to go. He loves the walks. And, we go for
outside.
He's a street dog. He came from the street and his heart is still out there on them streets.
He don't have a gold grill, does he, Sybil?
Yeah, he does, as a matter of fact. And Ramsey came from he was a stray too, but he came from inside a house. They found him inside a house, and that's where he likes to stay. Wow. And it's pretty hot here, but even when we're going early in the morning for walks, he's not so much for that. As a matter of fact, he wouldn't go walking with me at all while we were together. It took his mother and father to come back home for us to go out and walk. Finally, last night. So,
my mom's boyfriend had a dog. His name was Mike. That's my sister Danielle. She'll put the line down and she'll chime in and tell you that's true.
Mike.
My grandmother had a dog named Roger.
Roger. As in Roger that, or or Roger Craig, or just Roger. We always had dog names, with the exception of the one that I named. Names. Yeah, we had Frisky, we had Snooky, we had.
That sounds like stripper names.
Frisky sounds like a.
Where's the P on the pole?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Strays are good dogs. It's good to get when you have strays because they know how to act because they already know somebody will put my ass out.
They'll re-straight.
Right.
They can be re-straight.
I messed up once and look where I ended up.
Right.
Yeah, I think that is true for both of those. Yeah, Lala likes to run, but he will come back. He will make his way. And Ramsey just doesn't go very far from home. So it was
never
had
dogs growing up. So never had a pet.
Really?
My sister had 2 pit bulls.
Oh wow.
Loco and Elle, mother and daughter. And someone stole one of them, and her and her husband. They hunted it.
Oh, what's
and
sad.
people name your dog names. I saw a missing dog named Gucci Johnson. I said, they own us black. Gucci Johnson. That was his name, Chris.
That's funny. Tom Joyner used to tell us about his dog named Midnight. It's like, that was his, and he doesn't even like pets. He likes the fish and the birds.
Probably was a white dog too.
Probably. Those wacky joiners. All right, guys, let's talk about what is going on in the What You Need to Know newsletter.
What's not going on. So.
Well, that's true. I'm telling you, Huggy, I can barely keep my head off of a swivel because it's just like up and down and then it's crazy. And trying to keep up with it. Worse and worse is right.
I know it ain't a word, people. Don't text in or whatever.
It is now.
We should put it in the Huggy dictionary though. Right. So Coy, what's the cotton picking deal with a Los Angeles school? I've been waiting all day to ask you that question, by the way.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how I find these.
That's a good question too.
There is a woman named Rashonda Pitts who is now filing a federal lawsuit against the Los Angeles Unified School District, which is LAUSD, and the Board of Education, alleging that her daughter, who's only identified in the lawsuit as SW, suffered from emotional distress after a cotton picking field was set up at her school as an instructional tool to demonstrate life as a slave.
So hold on one second. You didn't mishear her. She said Los Angeles School District.
Mm-hmm. The school was in Hollywood, California.
Wow.
In 2000, what? 17?
17.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Proceed.
And so what happened was, her daughter, SW, has a perfect GPA. She was very excited to go to school. And she just noticed as the school year went on, she was, becoming more and more, down, having just like this down energy about going to school. One day she was dropping her daughter off and she looked and she said, now what on earth would a cotton field be doing in the middle of Hollywood? And it was at the school. So she scheduled a meeting to speak with the principal. And eventually she spoke with the assistant principal, Brian Wisniewski. And he explained in a very chipper tone too. He was excited. Oh yeah, the students are reading Frederick Douglass' autobiography, and he wrote about picking cotton. So we thought that it would be a great experience for the students to participate in picking cotton, to understand what it was like to be a slave. And all of this was supposed to be some real life experience teaching tool. And the issue about this, number one, is cotton.
In 2017 in Hollywood, California. And there were a number of other issues.
How do you do that, Coy?
There were a number of other issues that were involved there. So
Coy!
She's choking on the cotton.
The airwaves can't even believe it.
There, Coy.
So Coy, you were giving us the points. First of all, they were deciding to do this, and they did it without parents' permission. They didn't inform them. They didn't ask them if this was okay or not. Correct? Okay, so that is a part of Coy's story, that they could not get the information. They did not share the information with Coy. Now, what if we made a gas chamber while reading Anne Frank ask a Facebook user, which is a great question. That's a really good question to ask. What
since when do you have an anonymous?
I know.
That's how scared that statement was.
I know.
He wasn't messing around.
All right.
Facebook user has been anonymous before, Chris, but thank you. Yes. So Coy, we talked about the fact that they decided to do this without any input or information being given to the adults, to the parents. And later, she told her mom that her social justice teacher required students to pick cotton. She watched other students do this. And so she was not forced to participate. According to the lawsuit, the child, as Coy pointed out, had a perfect grade point average and initially reluctant to discuss the project for fear of retaliation from the teachers. But she couldn't tell, she felt reluctant to tell her mother. And this had a profound effect on her. Depression, her grades started to slip, and her mother couldn't figure this out. We got it. I know that oftentimes we don't have the wherewithal to take our children to school on a regular basis. Sometimes they just got to get on the bus, but we need to be making those visits, don't we, to find out what's really going on.
And her mother saw the cotton field.
Yes.
So why would she videotape that and expose the school, expose this so-called curriculum?
So Coy, do you have any other information about how the mother responded, or did it go from seeing this to immediately filing a lawsuit? Do you know?
As far as I know, it went from seeing this to immediately filing the lawsuit, which is also alleging negligence and seeking unspecified damages. And I don't know, how long it takes to file a federal lawsuit, but now this has been about 5 years for this to come to light now in 2022.
Well, we have instances of this like several times a year, don't we? Of like some teacher in this country trying to do something innovative when teaching race
to bring it alive.
It just offends the. Remember, they had one school had like a slave auction or something.
That's been a regular story that we've done, a slave auction, even years after it started, and they saw the reaction.
Of critical race theory.
Yes, and and that's interesting that we do have schools and school systems that want to institute critical race theory, yet they want to have the real life authentic experience.
Authenticity. That's what they want. That's their version of critical race theory. They don't have a problem with that.
But they have a problem with us telling the truth about our experience, or not our experience, but our ancestors' experiences, and because they don't want their children to feel bad. What about our children?
Feel bad.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? If they're going to do all these real life experiences, let the white kids do it.
This is crazy. Let
them pick the cotton. I don't know.
So Coy, I know I ask you every week to keep us up to date on this particular story, but this is one that's it's interesting and sad at the same time. And I do hope that something has come out of this. And I would love to talk to this little girl 5 years after, because then she was 9. Now she's probably a freshman, maybe in high school, and how this affected her over the last 5 or 6 years, because that can have a detrimental effect.
All the Black students who are put through this in school, you think of like the guilt they carry with themselves the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Just guilt that even at a young age, they didn't stand up and say, "I'm not picking your damn cotton," or "I'm not," or "I'm not taking part in those slave auctions."
Participating in it.
Right. It's like they feel so bad that they allowed themselves to be
because
basically
they are
like
kids. Because they are kids in this day and time, and they will be ostracized.
Yeah.
It's almost like as parents, as Black parents, we have to now, of all the things we got to prepare our kids for, we have to let them know if your teacher wants you to do anything in class that you feel uncomfortable doing,
you come to me.
Don't
another
do
conversation.
it.
Another conversation.
Just if you have to go to the principal, go to the principal.
And I'll be right there.
Right.
I'll be right there. Absolutely. All right, Coy. And guys, let's now talk about the Donald Trump situation. This is we tried to give people an update on what exactly was taken from the Trump estate during the FBI raid, the search and seizure. We got this as a result of them requiring the folks to open up the search warrant that was given to them and what they came away with. And the agents removed, and this is the Monday of the search and seizure by the FBI, a full day long event. And 27 boxes of items included 11 sets of classified.
That's a lot of planting, Sybil. They planted 20-something boxes, bro.
Right. And that's what they were accused of planting all of this evidence, so-called evidence. 11 sets of classified documents, some marked as top secret or SCI, which stands for sensitive compartmented information material that should only be kept and viewed in a secure facility, which, news alert, Mar-a-Lago is not such a secure facility. They also had a copy of the grant of executive clemency that Trump gave his friend Roger Stone, signed by Trump, commuted his prison sentence, and Roger Stone was just about to go to prison for 40 months for lying to Congress about his friend. And there were also some pages that included information about the president of France, 2 binders of photos, and a handwritten note. Now, on top of this, Donald Trump has also made the declaration, most recently, that the feds took his passports, plural. One had expired, and then there were 2 other passports. He put this on his social media site and said, guess what? What is this, a third world country? No, it's not, because they don't have passports in third world countries. You ding dong. But
there's always something when you got a problem. Right?
So they took he alleged that they did. We don't have any information from what the FBI and the Justice Department took away. But also, people are saying, well, why are you so concerned? Because it just sounds like you would only need your passport if you were leaving the country. Right. And so that begs the question, well, why do you need your passport? What's the big deal? If you got nothing to hide, you're not going anywhere. Why are you making this big deal?
That's what I said. That the law and order president had a problem with the law when it was ordered to raid his residence.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting it, Hug. You're absolutely right. Meanwhile, Rudy Giuliani is said to be the target of the Atlanta area probe of Donald Trump. The Fulton,
we coming for you.
The Fulton DA's office has not commented on it, but this is the latest indication of legal threats facing Donald Trump and his top allies. And they say that they are looking at him. The DA, Fani Willis, has also informed 16 Trump supporters and state. I like Fani. I don't like Fanny. I like Fani. Funny. And state GOP officials who signed certificates claiming to be qualified presidential electors. They're also targets of the probe. And last but not least in this story, Senator Lindsey Graham has been ordered by a federal judge to testify before the grand jury.
Ooh, he gonna eat some liver pudding before he testifies. Chris, who you think the mole is, Chris?
People are saying they think it's Jared.
I heard
that, and I also heard the former chief of staff,
Mark Meadows.
So,
who knew his middle name was Phillips?
And what do you say, Coy? Who do you think is the mole? Who do you think called up the feds and said, you didn't get everything?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't me. They planted stuff. Hey, let me tell you what's really going on.
Yeah, let me tell you about the stuff that I declassified myself.
I mean, this whole administration was just taking during their Airbnb at the White House.
Right.
They was looting the White House. I mean, they took Lincoln's bus.
Yeah.
They took Lincoln's. No other administration did. Not even Clinton.
It was like a Heisman. They were walking out with
the White House.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if the mole wasn't Calvin.
The Secret Service guy?
No. I'm talking about Calvin is the black butler at the White House. Donald Trump called the N-word every day.
Oh goodness.
Okay, I'm gonna get you back. Okay.
I thought Calvin was
no, was
the dude at McDonald's. What happened to Calvin from McDonald's?
He worked at DoorDash. Who was Melania?
If Calvin is not a damn manager by now,
Lord help us all. Lord help us all.
Yeah.
But I thought Calvin was Melania's favorite Secret Service agent.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. So also in the newsletter, Peloton is feeling the burn of the pandemic being over. Wow. Peloton, which skyrocketed to popularity during the pandemic, where they had people buy all this expensive equipment, have the classes that they're paying for and what have you. And their stock rose like 400% in the first year of the pandemic in 2020. And now they have not had a successful quarter since 2021.
People back outside, Sybil.
Right.
I heard what's the black dude, the trainer everybody likes on there? He's been repeating outfits. That's how tough it's gotten.
Right. That times are hard.
I saw one time with jeans on, Chris.
and Timberlands.
God wanna sell his Peloton now. I said, brother, nobody want no Peloton with training wheels.
He's got the Peloton Junior.
Okay. We love you guys, Tori. Very funny. And the last thing we also want to talk about is the FDA has given us some changes in how we should treat the COVID virus if we have it in this day and age. If you're exposed to COVID-19, take 3 home tests instead of 2 to make sure you're not infected. That according to new U.S. recommendations released. Previously, the Food and Drug Administration advised taking 2 rapid antigen tests over 2 to 3 days to rule out infection, but the agency says studies suggest that protocol can miss too many infections, so they suggest 3.
A lot of Democrats are upset with Joe Biden. They're like, Joe Biden said he was going to control this thing, and it's like the administration is giving in to all the people who are whining and complaining. Right. We still have close to 7,000 people died last month,
right,
from COVID. Right. I mean, that's a lot of people.
That's an excessive amount, bro.
That's a lot of people, and it's no longer talked about. It's no longer mentioned,
and it needs to be talked about. Right. And they don't want it to be. It's like we're still with the same administration because they did not want numbers to be out there. They did everything in their power not to have the numbers been exposed, silencing.
So guys, I'm being given the sign we have to move on. We're talking too much, and
we've been wrapped up.
We talk about COVID. They're like, okay, move on.
I know people who don't believe in all of this stuff anyway. So it's time for our question of the day. What's really going on? And just a few days ago, it was National Grab Some Nuts Day.
And boy, did it hurt.
Thank you. Any other jokes you'd like to insert here?
No.
Okay. The question is, what is your favorite snack food? So for everybody who is watching,
hold on, grab some nuts day is in August. I thought it would be in December.
December. That's hilarious.
December. There are many nut days throughout the year, such as National Almond Day, National Pistachio Day, National Pecan Day. But this is National Grab Some Nuts Day, and it's not in what month there, Chris?
Oh my goodness.
December.
So, but we're asking, what is your favorite snack food? So it could be these nuts, or it could be potato chips, it could be candy, or you're a salt person, a sweet person, and it could be
a whole lot of people have nut allergies now.
Yeah, that's true. It could be Funyuns.
A whole lot of single women.
Please chime in with your favorite snack food, whatever it may be. Right now, I'm on a pumpkin seed kick. I am eating pumpkin.
You're on a throwback.
Yeah.
You are the blackest.
That's your new spinoff show. You are the blackest.
That is something I've never been accused of before.
What happened to the red pistachios? Remember, I haven't seen the red.
You know what? I think people just can't. Why are you dyeing the pistachios? Why are you putting red dye number?
They don't taste better.
That's what a lot of people say too. Right. A lot of people say that too. Were you a pistachio fan, Hug?
Yeah.
I like a nice pistachio nut. Yes.
Some people cheat and buy the pistachios that are already shelled.
Yeah.
They don't taste the same either.
No.
Yeah. With the pumpkin seeds, as well as with sunflower seeds, I prefer the still shelled. Takes just a little bit of effort on your part.
Like crawfish.
Oh my God. From the head. What about you, Chris Paul? Do you have a favorite snack food?
I mean, I don't know. I guess just
Uncrustables.
I see all these TikTok reels of people making their own Uncrustables. That defeats the purpose.
You know what, Chris?
The whole purpose
Paul,
is that it's easy. It's like
Chris Paul travels with the best snacks ever.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
He travel. I don't know where he gets these snacks from. We're like, bro, you need one of these. Try one of these. Snacks be on point.
That's much than I should have said. Chris Paul be hungry as hell when we're on the road.
So when you are hungry as hell on the road, Chris, what kind of things do you bring along?
I mean, I try to bring some healthy stuff. Like I bring some nuts or some what else? Some granola bars and stuff like that.
And then when your wife isn't looking, what do you take?
That's about it.
We be in everything. So we stop at that. We stop at one of them Quick Marts or one of those. What is that, Chris? What's the last time we went to one town and somebody was running out? Somebody had robbed the store, and the dude came out.
It was a woman.
It was a woman ran out.
Came out. She said, "Call the law.
Call the law. Call the law." I said, "Chris,
these young boys,
not getting out this. If a white woman come out and say, call the law, bro."
These young boys in the store with us had used counterfeit money to buy lottery tickets. They bought a bunch of lottery tickets with counterfeit, and then hauled ass. And by the time she noticed that it was George Jefferson on the dollar bill,
oh my God!
Call the law.
They called the law.
Not George Jefferson.
Yeah.
The best road eats we had were we were sitting up in first class with about $200 worth of Papados.
Like two big roads that just hit the lottery in Houston.
And that was before COVID, so we can lick our fingers
and have no worries. You don't have to worry about taking mask off and all of that kind of stuff.
Can you tuck my bib back in for me? It's coming out.
And oh my gosh.
Keep your damn Biscoff cookies. We got Papados.
Hug, what about you? What do you like to have as a snack?
On the road, Funyuns.
So I was kidding about Funyuns, but it's fun to say for me.
We used to do Funyuns,
M&M's king.
M&M's.
Wow.
And how do you like your M&M's? Male or female?
No. So I was taking commercial acting classes in my younger life. Going to New York, so we was on an Amtrak one time. We went to the food cart, and the guy said, I asked for some M&Ms. The guy says, would you like male or female? I'm like, what the hell does that mean? So you want nuts or without? So I wanted
female.
No, I wanted the yellow bag, but I wouldn't tell it. He made me switch up my candy preference. I didn't give him I wanted the M&Ms with peanuts, but I didn't tell him I wanted the male. Do you want male or female?
I want the yellow.
I said, give me the female bag. Give me the yellow bag.
So he had plain M&Ms and a hot dog on the tray. Might as well have the yellow bag.
Young Coy, do you have favorite snack foods?
I eat a lot of fruit, so I can't really consider that
snack foods, Coy. Say something snack like yoo-hoo and pork skins.
Now I did when I used to eat pork skins. I used to love them
with hot sauce.
The crackling.
Chris, you like them pork skins too, Chris.
With the hot sauce.
My mother liked them cracklings.
Seasoning salt on them.
Cracklings. Now, what's the difference between cracklings and
cracklings? Hard.
Yeah, they're hard.
Oh, they're hard.
They got the piece of like pork fat on there too.
It's still on there. Yeah.
I used to really like oatmeal cream pies.
Oh,
Little
Debbie joint. Oh,
yes.
We just had some, right? The double ones.
They make down south. They make double oatmeal.
They make
pies.
the double oatmeal, like a Big Mac Little Debbie, Sybil.
So if you wonder what you can get Chris and Huggy for the next holiday, Coy, you just go around the corner there in Atlanta and get them some double filled cream pies, Little Debbie's.
I don't know what happened to Little Debbie. Little Debbie's used to be the brand that was cheaper than Hostess.
That's what I thought too.
The price of Little Debbie.
Everything.
Next time you go to the store, look at the price of Little Debbie.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, when we was with Tom, we was buying them Intimates. then we back to Little Debbie's.
Right.
And we split them.
Lynn Powell is giving us a really sexy and healthy snack food there. She on Facebook, Lynn Powell says green grapes.
Somebody block her.
Lynn, you don't have one snack food you like. I know I'm not supposed to, but I would like.
From Wilson, North Carolina. They put peanuts inside Pepsi.
Oh yeah, I've heard that in other southern states too. Yeah, and bald nuts.
I don't know about that. So
a lot of nuts on this show.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Nut Talk. Kyra Harris, I like Slim Jims and cheese now. On Facebook. Once again.
You done turned this show into something else.
This show is called Pause. Pause with Sybil Wilkes.
I like Vienna sausage and meatballs.
Vienna. Brian Craig on Facebook says he likes gummy worms and cheese doodles.
Pause.
He likes the gummy worms inside the cheese doodles.
Pause.
Oh golly, that is too funny. Oh my God.
Does anybody enjoy eating
big league chewing and glizzies?
Is there any non-phallic snacks out there? Does anybody like a donut?
That too. It's not the non-phallic snack that you think that it is. Oh, Chris has got to wipe away the tears.
Crazy talk.
Oh, how about the yard long Slim Jims? Those you remember those? Renita Bland.
Rice cake chips.
Quaker rice cake chips are good. Renita, is that with a little cheese flavoring or just a plain?
Just a plain. That's nah.
Yeah.
You might as well be eating notebook paper. Or asbestos.
Asbestos.
For real.
That is disgusting, bro.
And does anybody like the old fashioned, like the Twinkies or the?
They're not the same anymore.
No,
they're not. Oh, they're not.
They're not the same anymore now.
You remember they did the chocolate Twinkies? That was during Black History Month, though. So.
Oh, they did. Okay, and were they any good?
I don't know.
you a grown man is not seen eating a chocolate Twinkie,
no,
is he?
I didn't.
Pause.
Hey, you see the brother dicing the chocolate Twinkie out. Eating like banana chips.
What about Red Hots? Anybody for Red Hots?
Lemon head.
Lemon head. Oh, somebody. I think it was Yolanda and Ward. They got engaged over a box of lemon heads.
Really?
I think that's where he put her engagement ring.
In the lemon head?
In the lemon heads box.
Wow.
Which brings up a whole nother question about their relationship.
My sister husband put his ring in a pack of cigarettes.
Confucius say lemon head leaves sourpuss.
Oh God! I think I might have to get that rag there and wipe my eyes there, Chris, as well as.
Hell happened to Coy.
Coy's like I've had enough ins and outs of this conversation.
Coy
got a GoFundMe for her Wi-Fi.
Coy gets some snacks out of her scarf right there. So she's like,
oh gosh, she's like, I need to go make some more P-Valley money so that I can upgrade my internet. Okay. All right. Well, Susie Q. Hey, there's Danielle. There's Danielle.
Susie. Oh, what about the Zingers?
Oh yeah.
And Zingers, and were Zingers the other side of the Twinkies? Or singers, the chocolate.
Dolly Madison.
But the singers were the chocolate with the.
It was like the red. It was like the red. What was it, Chris?
They were like Twinkies, but they had icing on them.
Right.
Just the top.
That's it. That's what it is.
But either way,
Susie Q. I used to love Susie Q.
Pause. and we've come up with a new show.
What about the ho-hos? You don't let them ho-hos, Chris.
You don't love them ho-hos.
You don't let them ho-hos, Chris.
Chris love them ho-hos. Don't let him fool you. Don't let the preacher look fool you. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for participating in our little fun there about your favorite snack.
Snack lives matter.
It is. It is now time for us to take a breather or a pause, if you will, and talk trending topics. All right, so gentlemen, let's start off with you guys. Let's talk about where folks can see you and laugh till they are crying in their seats.
This Saturday with the House of Laughs in Wilmington, Delaware.
Two shows, one night.
There. That's right. Get your tickets at houseoflaughs.com. That's LAFFS. And then the following weekend, I think it's the 26th, we're at the Birchmere, the historic Birchmere in Alexandria, Virginia on Friday night, and Saturday night we're in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Dynacon Center for two big shows. And then the following weekend, which is Labor Day weekend, will be at Magooby's Joke House up in Baltimore, Timonium, Maryland.
All right. Wow.
Like, we're doing it. I might be able to get me some socks.
Or at least some female M&Ms. Yeah.
Oh, right. So
Susie Q's. All right. So that is the 20th, the 26th, the 27th, and Labor Day weekend. Okay. For September 1st and 2nd. Great. Just for me, just tell people that the repeat of the Wendy Williams show with Sherry Shepherd, and in which she invited yours truly on, is going to be repeated tomorrow morning or wherever Wendy Williams shows in your
You're going to be on there, Sybil?
I'll be on. That's the episode that Sherry and John invited me on. So dope. I will be on that day. So
that's great. She had you on there. She had Damon on there. That's great. That's really great, Sherry Shepherd.
She had Jackie on there.
Jackie
Reed was
on.
She
had the whole Tom Joyner Morning Show on there.
Yeah. So anyway, check your local listings.
Just some emojis, Chris. Just some emojis.
Check your local listings. And also, if I may just remind you guys, we're a month out, and Sherry Shepherd, the Sherry Show, will debut on September 12th. And check your local listings there as well. All right. So this is awful in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It happened at a kids' preseason football game in which a fatal shooting took place. And the brother of a former NFL star is now in custody. He has turned himself in. Wow. The brother of is it Aqib Talib?
Close enough.
Yeah. Okay. Talib is in custody following the fatal shooting of a coach at the youth football game Saturday night. Police in Lancaster, Texas, say they have identified Yaqub Salik Talib as the suspect and issued a warrant for his arrest. He turned himself in, according to the station, and the victim was identified as a real pillar of the community, a former college athlete, Michael Hickman. He was 43 years old, and he was a coach with one of the teams. Apparently happened during an argument, one of the coaching staffs and the officiating crew, and Mr. Hickman was shot in the process and died at a hospital. They have video of it showing the referee attempting to calm a man as both walked towards a camera. However, a fight broke out behind the pair involving several individuals. A series of 5 gunshots is heard before the person recording the video appears to seek cover. And his attorney has said that he has turned himself in, and he looks forward to giving his side of the story. And as I mentioned, Michael Hickman is being mourned by many in the community because not only of his great college football career, but his standing in the community, and said he would go out of his way to help anyone in order to help them.
And the question being asked a lot on social media is, why would anybody bring a gun to a youth football game? But it's bigger than that. We have a country where certain states allow you to carry a gun anywhere in Texas, anywhere. You can have a concealed weapon at all times. So it doesn't matter if you go to a youth football game, you can carry it in
a church.
You can carry, and human beings are built. I mean, most of us have self-control.
Right.
When tempers start to flare in any situation, whether a game, a church, a mall, or whatever, somebody snaps.
And we know how invested people are in the game of football in this state, kids football all the way up to the pros.
Right.
And it's hot. People are frustrated. They're tired. And any little thing can set people off.
I mean, in Texas, youth football stadiums look like pro stadiums.
Right. Yep. Right. That is the truth.
I take it serious. And when it first happened and the video first broke, Twitter immediately ran with the former NFL playing Talib being the one who shot.
Right.
But no, it was not. It was
and they're both coaches.
Right.
They too are coaches of these kids' football teams. And so even
more, what does a coach need a gun for?
And we're not even mentioning how the kids will be traumatized behind
and that's what they're talking about, because not only every other child, but the child of the man who was killed was there.
Right.
In states with laws that allow you to carry guns and concealed weapons, are organizations or businesses allowed to have their own rules that you can't, like, could I have a restaurant in Texas and say no guns are allowed in here? Or does the law of the land supersede any rule I put up there?
And that is the question that many people ask. Just because it is the law, can I say no? And people have done that. And there are court cases surrounding that, whether people have the right to say you can't bring a gun in here or not. But it's the law. But
it's crazy that if you run a youth football league, you couldn't say no guns are allowed at the games by any parent, coach, or referee.
Right. Exactly right. Exactly right.
And then the crazy thing that I find is that the more places that we start to see gun violence occurring, it's almost like it sends out a signal to other people saying, well, since they brought a gun here, I can do it too. And then we start to see similar gun incidents and violence happening at the same types of places now over and over and over. It's like you start at one youth football game. Now, how many more are we going to hear about? Because people feel like, well, they did it at this game, I might as well start carrying my gun at the game because somebody else can have one.
Right.
And that's
why wouldn't every referee should be bringing a gun now?
Yeah. From Pee Week all the way up to Yep. Because because of the things that happen. It's Dodge City. It is just like an episode of Marshall Dillon or one of those others where people feel as though they need a gun to protect themselves. All right. Brittany Griner, her attorneys are appealing her drug conviction in Russia back on her drug case. Obviously, we know what has happened so far. She's been found guilty. She's been sentenced to 9 years in prison. And this is the next thing, as a part of what the Russians say is the course of law, that they must appeal the drug sentence as allegedly discussions are underway about the swap prisoner exchange, whether it has happened or not, but whether the discussion has gotten very far or not. Her attorney is confirming that they are in the process of appealing the case. It's not known what the grounds of appeal are or when it will be heard in court. The move, though, was expected. As I said, this was the process that they were told they had to go through in order to keep this moving, and in hopes sooner rather than later, then she will be a part of a prisoner swap, she and the other American, Paul Whelan. But there are other Americans who are being held, and I'm wondering about them and what will happen to them. Who are one is a teacher, a young white woman who is a teacher who is being held, as well as others. So
what is she being held for?
that believe what it wasn't espionage, Huggy, but it was something along those lines. I don't think it was the drug charge like Brittany has.
How did she get an espionage charge?
They offered her a coaching job. They said that she can coach basketball while she's in prison.
How crazy is that?
What?
For who?
What kind of
Brittany?
I mean, but coach for who?
For one of the Russian basketball.
One of the Russian basketball.
Maybe even the team she was playing for.
It's like a bad black movie. While she's there, she's being held there. The black woman is gonna coach basketball and lead them to a prison championship.
and this sounds about as credible as the phone call they scheduled on Saturday.
Well, that's been going on for some time, and I think a lot of people have to take the blame for that. That call not going through. So we'll keep people up to date on that. And the last court case we want to talk about is R. Kelly. His trial began in Chicago today, and he wants to ban jurors who have seen the documentary Surviving R. Kelly from the trial. Anybody who's seen it, they cannot be available for jury.
What about jurors who actually saw his tapes?
that involved his brother. Right. Right. He and his team filed a motion Monday to disqualify the jurors who have seen any portion of the docuseries, as this is his second federal trial, begins in his hometown. Any potential juror who has watched any portion of this docuseries must be disqualified for cause on whether they can be fair. Too great a risk exists that such a juror would base their verdict on matters not introduced into evidence in the courtroom. But I think Chris makes a great point. Then what about all of those people, the millions of people who saw the R. Kelly tapes?
Right.
Will they be disqualified as well?
Jussie Smollett tried to ban all the jurors who went to Subway, so it's not going to work.
R. Kelly.
What about the Gayle interview?
Oh, and then there's that Robert. Yeah. He is facing charges of child porn.
I'm fighting for my life.
He's facing federal charges of child porn, obstruction of justice, and his alleged victim from his infamous 2008 case is expected to testify. There are a number of questions about any potential jurors as well as potential people who are going to be there to testify.
Does it help him? I mean, that it took them so long to get through this whole process. Because now, imagine if they had acted, if the whole system had acted right when all this stuff was known to the public. I mean, then you would have actual young people testifying against him. Like, you would actually see these are children instead of now being grown women testifying against him.
But you saw this case went back to 2008 when he was found not guilty. So they did try it. They tried the case, and the outcome was not what they wanted, and they had to keep building their cases in various states, Illinois, in Minnesota, in New York State, before they got to this federal level. And now, but as you say, Chris, we're talking now 14 years later, and these are grown women in many cases.
That's a long time for it to be
and even after he beat that case, to be that brazen, to beat that sickness, even after he beat that charge, bro, he continued.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, even building that type of case over those many years and those many different places, how many more places are there that we're not getting evidence from?
And I would agree with you, Coy. And I probably think that, I think that they probably went with their strongest cases because he traveled throughout the world.
Right.
You know, the Pied Piper was doing this all over the place. But these are where the strongest case, or they think are the strongest cases as of right now.
He's known as that now. So
definitely not.
My thing is, when he went by that, when I was a kid and I looked up what the Pied Piper was, I'm looking around at everybody like, are y'all not understanding what that means? Nobody is saying.
And he got it, and we were all the fools that went along with it. He knew exactly what he was. Well, you're the Okay, but you're the
You looked that up as a kid, Coy?
I did. I was like, why does he keep calling himself the Pied Piper? And the fairy tale is the Piper that was supposed to lure the rats out of the town, and the town didn't compensate him, so he used that same flute to lure children into a cave, and they were never found again.
And he got it. He knew exactly what he was saying.
Right.
And the joke was on the adults who allowed this to happen.
It was Pennywise.
Then there's that. And there's
self-proclaimed. Ooh.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out coming home to Chicago, as opposed to the case that just took place in New York State, and how it moves through. Because not only do you have the docuseries that everybody's going to be talking about, but the man who really cracked this open is a journalist named Jim DeRogatis, and brought all of this in the form of a book to the public specter and to the marketplace, and made all the difference in a lot of these cases being brought to trial. So, all right, it is now time for us to take a look at entertainment, and I got to tell you, Chris, I got to tell you that a lot of this entertainment is not good. A lot of deaths and people who have unfortunately transitioned, who are in the entertainment business. But I do want to talk to you, Chris, especially, and you and Coy and Huggy. Did anybody watch the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
I did not.
Ceremony?
No, I did not.
I love those. I absolutely look forward to the Hall of Fame ceremonies for football, for baseball. Basketball almost slips by me sometimes, but I definitely enjoy all of those. And what I found really interesting was that Terrell Owens, who was brought into the Hall of Fame, didn't attend the ceremony, his own Hall of Fame ceremony, but he did go to this most recent one, and it was because of the incredible football player Bryant Young, who played for the San Francisco 49ers, had an incredible career, a great story. And it was just interesting to see Terrell Owens in the audience, and he was there to pay honor to this one player who gave an incredible speech. You know how they kind of build up the speeches to such a crescendo, and they're like, whoa. And that was Bryant Young's speech. And so it was really cool. And I just thought it was very interesting that, Terrell Owens is one day you see him having an argument with his neighbor and calling the police. And the next day he's there at the Hall of Fame ceremonies. But I
forgot. Why didn't T.O. go to the Hall of Fame induction?
It
took him so long?
Exactly. That was it. He felt that they took too long, beyond the 5 years after he left the game, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Meanwhile, Pete Rose like, what?
T.O. gets a bad rap. Why you compare him to Pete Rose?
No, I'm just talking about waiting. Waiting.
T.O. But T.O.
never been in trouble.
People have a perception of him. He's never been in any trouble.
No.
Everything he did was on the field that rubbed people the wrong way.
Right.
And nothing he did was like
braggadocious. That's football.
Right. That's all he did.
That's football.
That's football.
And that's how you got to make yourself a star.
Right.
That's the sport these days.
Right.
And people were offended by this. And they're not offended by Pete Rose and the allegations of him and young girls, and as well as the gambling that went on for a long time. I guess
Pete Rose just got a standing ovation. And it wasn't in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, he went back.
They brought back a
40-year-old
World Series team.
Yeah.
World Series team, and he came out last and shut it down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just feel like it's just another case of hating on a brown-skinned man with a nice smile.
Okay. Nipsey Hussle Day.
You got a crush on Theo? Crush on Theo.
Sounds like
I just feel like that every time there's a brown-skinned man in sports or somewhere up front
with a smile,
and he does nothing
with
but
a nice
job,
smile.
And with a nice smile. A lot of black men have nice smiles in general, but a brown-skinned man with a nice smile that's doing his job, never in trouble, I just feel like they just hate on that. That's just like the trifecta of hateration.
For those people who were in Los Angeles, Nipsey Hussle Day will be every August 15th, honoring his birthday. It was made during the Walk of Fame ceremony that was held in his honor. Honored every August 15th, as he was on this day on Hollywood Boulevard, right outside the Fame Amoeba Music Store. And during the ceremony, one of the city councilmen announced that August 15th will be there to remember the rapper. And he was remembered by his partner, Lauren London, his family, including his sister and his father, and his grandmother, all there to wish him happy birthday from the podium during the ceremony to honor the LA native. So good on them. I'm sorry that it is in memoriam, but absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up with our inspiration, the daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewel. And when you are open-minded, you accept things that you might not understand. When you are open-minded, you accept things you might not understand. I got to keep reading that over and over for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but I still need to work on that.
Say that again, Sybil.
When you are open-minded, you accept things that you might not understand. I need to understand it.
Yeah, open your mind.
Right, but there's the difficulty right there. We understand. You got it, Coy. So good on you. I
Just
guess
try, Sybil.
Coy, every day I hear this.
Just try, Sybil.
Take the books out the oven.
You meet me at the treehouse. Open your mind.
Now I know you are on something. You tell me to try and take the books out the oven. What the hell?
You all right, keep your books.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you
easy
again
bake
soon.
oven, Sybil. Easy bake oven.